Hi, I'm Jim Bergeron, pastor at Holy Cross Lutheran Church in Houston, Texas, and this is a sermon for the seventh Sunday of Epiphany in the C series, based on a text from Luke 6, starting with verse 27. Love your enemies. Are we hearing Jesus correctly? The first persons who heard these words had been waiting hundreds of years for the coming Messiah. They had been waiting through persecution, slavery, governmental oppression, brutal torture, and the Messiah is expected to even the score. Love your enemies. Totally counterintuitive. Whose side is Jesus on anyway? See, Exodus 21, 23 to 25 is the gold standard of fairness in human interaction. It was a time when if you broke my arm, my brothers would kill you, so it would never happen again. It was pure grace to only require equal punishment. Life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. Exodus 21, starting with verse 23. Jesus has a better way. Totally counterintuitive. Love your enemies? It's kind of like the doors on our church building. For me, they are a daily parable to remind me of Jesus' words that change everything, that turn things upside down. We all know exactly how locks and keys work. By lifelong habit, we know that it is always clockwise to open, counterclockwise to close. Not here at Holy Cross. Here it is abierto, izquierda, cerrado, derecha. If you want to get in here, you have to act like you're locking a normal door. Something different will happen than what you expect. If you want to secure it and lock it down, act like you are opening it up. How clear can Jesus get? Love your enemy. We need to lock down our leaning toward the normal fairness of equal reprisals. To love your enemy, you secure new relationships and new graces in life by opening up. I would urge you to think of the smallest little things in your life that are easily overlooked. They always might carry a kernel of the gospel in them. But there's a problem. We think of the person on the other side of the battlefield shooting a bullet at us with our name on it as the enemy. Little Jennifer wrote her pastor a note. I am 6 and I don't have any enemies yet. I hope to have some to love when I turn 7. Work can mean a variety of things, from hostile foe to competitive rival, with disputant, antagonist, and contestant in between. The other people at the spelling bee are your enemy, even though they're your friends. Our competitor might be a sibling, spouse, parent, or child. The friction we experience may be with a coworker, or a fellow Christian congregant, or a bad driver. You want things to eventually, often immediately, go better? Start to love them, pray for them, lift them up, yield, give right away, and then some. It's not easy, but you will see good results. It may turn into a contagious habit of good graciousness. Your enemy is probably expecting and preparing for something else, like a future escalated reaction. And you'll be making the whole universe a better place for all life. And then some. You might remember Don Rickles, Mr. Warmth himself, made money off of his caustic and abusive humor. Sooner or later, some people would recognize he was pulling their leg, but some took offense. He was friends with the group commonly known as the Rat Pack, and he especially liked to rag on Frank Sinatra. Make yourself comfortable, Frank. Go hit somebody. Well, that wasn't nice. One night he was on a date at the Sands in Vegas, and she would not believe that he knew Old Blue Eyes. Before the food was served, he excused himself to go to the washroom. He stopped at Sinatra's table on the way back and whispered, "Can you just come over and say hi, Don?" "No problem." Rickles sat down to eat with his date. About halfway through the meal, Sinatra came over to the table. He said, "Hey, Don, how the heck are you?" Don put down his knife and fork, picked up his napkin, patted his mouth. He said, "Not now, Frankie. I'm with someone important." Back in the 60s, there was a TV talk show. He was a host named Joe Pyne. He was one of the most abrasive, confrontational public figures alive. In a few short minutes, he could destroy a career by making a politician or a celebrity or a hungry entertainer look stupid. You had to be brave and prepared to go on his show. People speculated about where his acid style came from. He had a leg amputation that had embittered him, or maybe he was just nasty by nature. He did expose some pretty shallow people with withering interviews. One evening, he had Frank Zappa, leader of the Mothers of Invention, on his show. They were natural enemies. This was back when if your hair covered your forehead, you were hippie. Where you been, sissy boy? If it touched your collar or your ear, you were a suspected drug addict. Frank Zappa's hair was 18 inches long. He hated drugs. Joe Pyne's opening comment to him was, "Well, Frank, I guess your long hair makes you a girl." Frank smiled and replied, "Well, Joe, I guess your wooden leg makes you a table." And then they both started giggling. Following this caustic connection was an amazing discussion on the evils of governmental censorship of the music industry, comedy, and all of the arts. It was a First Amendment show. It went from vicious barbs to Civics 101 in seconds. Respond even to competitors. Don't react. Add on a little extra, a little more, and then some. It's natural to love those who love you. Really, you don't get a hero cookie for that. You can do better. Love those who don't love you. Love your friends. And then some. Love your enemies. You do good for those people who do good things for you. Craven, hard-hearted sinners do that. You don't get extra credit for that. Do good to your friends and then some. Do good to those who it seems like they're trying to do you in. Loan friends money. Naturally, they're going to pay you back. And maybe they'll loan you money sometime. Everybody's happy. That's good to do. And then some. Help someone who can never pay you back, and you know it. It doesn't cost that much to lift the atmosphere by being unexpectedly generous in our interactions with other people. We're a second chance people. We are the keep score no more people. You can count on us to do the right thing and then some. The time is right for being aware of that pesky person whom God has placed in our path to ponder about and love. The time is right to know that the love of God vertically cannot happen without the love of God horizontally, to family, neighbor, and enemy. It is time to make a few loving adjustments which will make the whole world a better place to live and thrive. And if that's too hard, then just pray every morning, "Lord, please treat me tomorrow the way I treat people today." And then some. Amen.